What's up? This is Release Rotation. I'm your host, John W. Snyder. I know it's another day late. It's Tuesday when I'm recording this. I wanted to get these out every Sunday night or Monday morning, and I've done a bad job, but I'm still getting out one a week, and that is my goal for 2019 is one a week. So I'm at least keeping on track with that. And I've had a couple of people at work that I work with say, "Hey, where's your podcast this week?" I appreciate you listening, and I apologize for not being consistent because I should be. I'm also tinkering and trying to figure out the best day to post a podcast, when the most listens happen, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Data analytics, nobody really cares. I shouldn't even care. It's just more for my own entertainment is understanding analytics because I enjoy it, actually. So that is why I actually do care a little bit about the analytics and data and trying to figure out the best day. But I do like this late Sunday night or early Monday morning posting. It makes it enjoyable. It's just hard for me to do. So trying to get better, trying to figure it out. So we'll see what happens. But right now, this is Tuesday and the sun's out. This is also the first podcast this year that I've recorded with the sun being out. Usually I record this podcast late at night after my family's gone to bed, and I really didn't think about it, but when that happens, I feel like I'm not usually my normal self with my voice. I try to tone it down, be quiet, and I've had 2 or 3 people tell me, "I listen to your podcast, your voice is so soothing." I'm like, I don't know if that's good or bad because I don't want to put you to sleep, but okay, I guess if it's different than from what you normally listen to. So, take that for what it is. This one probably won't come across as soothing because I can be a little bit louder and can actually talk rather than kind of trying to talk like this because my family is sleeping. So, yeah. So this is actually what I really sound like. And maybe you prefer the other one. Let me know. If you are listening to this and you know me, would you rather me be this voice or my family's already gone to bed voice, and so I'm trying to keep it down, Let me know, because I'm all ears. I like to learn new things from people, and I am open to any advice, feedback, positive or negative, criticism, feedback, whatever it is. I'm open to it. I'm all ears because I'm trying to create something here and figure it out as I go. And you guys are my guinea pigs for this as I talk and figure out how this podcast is going to work because I don't know. Again, I'm trying to figure out the data, the analytics. When is the best time to post a podcast? When do people listen? So if you do follow me, and I know you in real life, please let me know when you typically listen to podcasts. What day of the week and what time, because I'm sure it's different for everybody, and there's all these stats about when's the best time to post a YouTube video, when's the best time to post an Instagram post, and I know that Gary Vaynerchuk would say anytime, all the time is the best time. The more content, the better. So that's kind of my tangent I went on about my podcast and where I'm at and what I'm doing. I will say I am thoroughly enjoying this. This is my creative outlet from the normal everyday thing that I've been doing for the last however many years with my job and family and who I love and love spending time with, and I love my job. But I needed something creative outside of all of that, something that I've doing on my own, and it's this podcast. And so thank you for listening, whoever you are, wherever you are. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And so I will try to get these out. That Sunday night, Monday morning seems to be the best time from just what people have told me and from feedback I've gotten from people who I know who do listen to this. So I will do my best to do that. Moving on. NBA. Well, first off, I don't know if you live in LA or Southern California. We have car chases once every 2 weeks, I would say, on average. And some of them are ridiculous. So last night there was a car chase, and it was like Northridge, Reseda, up kind of LA area. And it was a stolen car pursuit. And for some reason, there's something fascinating about watching high-speed chases, which I think we can all agree on. I think for me, I think it's how is it going to end? Who is this Yahoo? And what's going to happen during the chase? I mean, those are the three main things for me. But I always want to know how it's going to end. And normally, the person always surrenders. I mean, I would say that's the statistics, is gives up, runs out of gas, whatever, and surrenders. Gets out of the car, hands up, face down, walks backwards. Sometimes they send the dogs out, which when they send the dogs out, that is some fun stuff because they are fast and ferocious and they don't care. They will go at you, and so that's fun. But last night there was a chase, and I don't know if I hope everyone's okay, because this guy, I think it was a guy in this stolen car, he hit 2 or 3 vehicles during this pursuit, not going super fast, but you don't have to be going that fast to cause injury, and so I do hope those people are okay. But this guy was blowing through red lights at intersections. There was a point where he was probably, he wasn't going that fast, 5-10 miles an hour, but almost hit a couple of pedestrians in a crosswalk. It was intense. And then this guy, he pulls over somewhere. A guy in a corner comes over to his car, and the guy in the car hands this dude on the corner something. What was it? Who knows? Did he call this guy to have him meet him at this corner to hand him something? I don't know. It was so weird. That happens. Then he pulls in this parking lot up next to a white van. No idea what happens, but he's conversing with this white van. White van follows him a little bit. Okay, weird. Then, towards the end, this, I think it was a 4-door black pickup truck decides to follow this guy because the police have kind of backed off because it was getting dangerous. And that's what they do here in California. They kind of will track them from a distance, from a helicopter, whatever. And they didn't have, if this guy did get away, they probably wouldn't have caught him because it was a stolen car. So they didn't have his actual license plate. But the sheriffs, police, whatever, they all backed off. When they did this, they did it for a while. The news helicopters are still following. But this black pickup truck starts trailing this guy for 20-25 minutes. He's just following him, acting like he's going to do something. A couple times that we thought he was going to do a pit maneuver to stop this guy. It was insane. It was one of the best chases in the last 12 months, though, that's for sure. The guy did finally give up. What's funny, because the black pickup got in front of him and kind of cornered him into a spot where he couldn't go anywhere. And so that guy in the original stolen car gets out, whatever, they arrest him. The guy in the black pickup then just tries to drive off like no big deal. So another, not even pursuit, I don't want to say, he probably got 100, 200 yards. And these cops are following this guy because who is this guy? What is he doing? Why did he do this? I feel like he was like, oh, they're just going to let me go. And hopefully they did. Hopefully the guy was just being a good citizen, and it definitely is dangerous and you should never do that, but I hope he just gets a slap on the wrist because he did prevent this other guy from doing some stupid stuff. And so that was a very intense chase, and it was fun. There was another chase, I want to say 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, where a dude ended up in a train tunnel in LA. Yeah, bailed. Don't even remember how they caught him, but that was another great chase. This guy ended up on train tracks in a train tunnel. So we have chases here probably every 2 weeks. And there's a guy on Twitter at Worldwide Wob, I believe, is his handle, Worldwide Wob. But he always streams them and commentates on these chases, and I get a good chuckle because he's funny. He also talks a lot of NBA, so that's probably why I like him a lot. because of the sports side and then the commentating on the high-speed chases. So Worldwide Wob, and he always periscopes it on Twitter. So always worth a watch. I'll try to tweet him out, retweet him next time it happens, but hilarious. So that happened. Again, this is Release Rotation. I'm your host, John W. Snyder. This is episode 61. So I've been doing a lot of these since last year, but I really didn't start doing it seriously until not until the first week of this year. So first week of January 2019, I started doing these seriously, taking them seriously, one time a week. So here we are. NBA season's coming to an end. There's probably only I don't know how many games, 15 to 20 games left for each team, right around there. So getting down to the wire with playoff seedings and all that fun stuff. I will say the most interesting, experiment I could say of the year was the Lakers. I mean, what is going on in LA? It's been this way for 6 years now, 7 years. I don't know, 5, 7. I'm sure my Lakers fans at work will let me know, but it's been bad. And this season, the off season, they get LeBron. Then there was that day where they signed all those random guys and thinking that that's what it was going to take because they ended up not getting Paul George and they thought they were going to get Paul George. And now the Lakers are 5 games out of playoffs, out of the 8th spot, 4.5 games out of the 8th seed. They're not going to make the playoffs. And this will be the first time LeBron has not made the playoffs in since 2005 or 2007 season. I can't remember. I think that was the stat. I'll have to check that out again, but what an experiment. People are going to get fired in LA. And it's a bummer because it's not really Luke Walton's fault, but is it? I don't know. Can he coach LeBron? Was he brought in to coach LeBron? No, because he was there before that was even a thing. So it's hard to blame Luke Walton. It's also got to be a bummer to be Luke Walton, and you're going to finish out the season knowing that you're getting fired. That can't be fun. Knowing that it's going to come to an end and you're done already. And then I don't know if anyone else is going to get fired in the front office. Who knows? But I think Luke Walton, I don't think he's a bad coach. I think he's a decent coach, and I think he'll be an assistant somewhere. He could get another head job somewhere. He could coach in college. Who knows? It's hard to. He's been with the Warriors and the Lakers, so he's got some. He knows what he's doing, I think, and I feel bad for him, but I think he'll land on his feet somewhere because I don't think it's his fault. And it's just going to be interesting to see what happens this offseason. Is Anthony Davis going to go to the Lakers, and is that going to be enough anyways? Anthony Davis and LeBron, I don't know. Who knows? It's just an interesting thing what's happening in LA. I don't feel bad about it at all, though, if you know me. And know that I'm not a Lakers fan at all, so that's fun. The Thunder have been on a little slide lately, but they haven't had their 35 points a game from Paul George or 30 points a game from Paul George the last several games. So, that's tough. They're going to lose some games not having him. They were able to beat Memphis by 4 the other night. That was a big win. They needed that win. But they're securely in the playoffs. James Harden is still ridiculous. The Warriors are still ridiculous. Those teams are so fun to watch. The Bucks, good grief. So the West is a lot of fun. That's for sure. And then Phoenix beat somebody again. Oh, they beat the Bucks. After they beat the Lakers, they beat the Bucks. So that was interesting. Spurs beat somebody good too. I want to say the Warriors. Could be wrong. Sorry, I'm trying to remember everything right now. But the NBA season's coming to an end, which is a bummer. I love it. It's the most entertaining league there is. The drama, the pettiness, it's so much fun. I enjoy every single minute of the NBA season. And the off season's even fun. It's so much more fun than watching the NFL. The NFL I like watching, but I just think the NBA, the off the court antics in the NBA make it more fun to me. So that's enjoyable. So I'm ready for the playoffs to get started. I'm ready for Paul George to be healthy. I'm still bummed about Andre Robertson with the Thunder. Just he's been out the whole year and most of last year with injury, and it's a bummer because he is an excellent player, and Oklahoma City needs that defensive play from him and the offensive play as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Another funny thing too that I saw was Carmelo now. They were talking with the Lakers, whatever. Now that the Lakers aren't going to make the playoffs, he's like, I'm out. So that's kind of funny. So I don't know what's going to happen with Melo. So I'm fine with it. I would like to see him win a ring. He's one of those guys I would love to see win a ring. But who knows? We'll see what happens there. So that's the NBA. That's what's happening. That's what I'm most excited about, though, is the playoffs coming up. Seeing who can. I think this is a year that the Warriors get knocked out somewhere. I just don't know where or by who. Whether it's in the championship, the NBA Finals, or somewhere along the way in the Western Conference, because the Western Conference is really tough. So, which that would be awesome. Need a little mix-up, I think. It was enjoyable when the Bulls were doing it in the 90s, but it was good to see him get knocked off. But that was after Jordan. But anyways, it's good when those dynasties kind of come to an end, I think. It's fun while they're happening, but I like to see things change. So we'll see what happens. This is Release Rotation. We'll be right back. And we're back. So, if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, I like to talk sports. I like to talk life stuff. And so this is where I kind of like to come in the end and just talk about a few things that have nothing to really do with sports unless there's an analogy or something like that along the way. But today's my wife's birthday, March 5th. I'm not going to say how old she is. She wouldn't care, but it doesn't matter. But every day we're all getting older. So happy birthday to my beautiful wife, awesome mom of our kids. She really is fantastic, and her support for me and the kids is beyond amazing. So happy birthday. We love you, and we appreciate everything you do for our family. And I'm saying this, she doesn't even listen to my podcast, but if she does, she'll hear this. But birthdays just make me think, like, this year I'm going to be 39 in less than a month. And it got me thinking about age and how, everyone thinks that you've got to do things in your 20s to be successful, that things need to happen in your 20s, or if not, you've missed the boat. And it's funny, I was thinking about this week, and then I saw a guy, he's an author, speaker, stand-up comedian. I'm going to use that term loosely because he's done like one set, I think. His name is John Acuff, and I think he used to work for Auto Trader, and then he started a blog called Stuff Christians Like. I think that's what it was called. Things Christians Like. I think it was Stuff Christians Like, and it was like a humorous, funny blog about the funny things in the church world and Christianity, and it was really funny. But he worked at Auto Trader, and then today I saw he posted about how you're never too old, and that he said that he wrote his first book in his 30s, and then started his own company at 40. So that's awesome, and he's super successful, and he speaks all over the place. He writes still. He's written, I don't even know how many books at this point, probably 4 or 5. And it wasn't too late for him. And so me turning 39 this year, some of my buddies are going to turn 40 before the end of the year. Some of my best friends that I talked about last week who I've known forever. And it's just awesome to know that 40 is not too old. You haven't missed out. And so this is just kind of one of those rants that I'm going to talk about. Like, just go after what you're passionate about. Do what you want to do, no matter your age. It doesn't matter. And sometimes we might think that, oh, but I'm not at this company or this job by 30. What's going to happen to me? Blah, blah, blah. I started this podcast, honestly, this year at 38. And I would be ecstatic if something came out of this, whether it was teaching other people how to podcast, how to start a podcast, the editing, the producing, the equipment to use, how to use it. Or if I was able to get a gig where I can speak and talk doing this kind of stuff, I would be elated. Even at 38, I know that this isn't a sprint. It's not a 100-yard dash. It's still a marathon, because there's a lot of life left in me. And everyone else listening to this, you're never too old. It doesn't matter. Just start now, because the more you delay it, the older you're going to get and the longer it's going to take, but why wait? And again, I don't regret that I didn't start this earlier. I've tried different things. I've had different ideas that I wanted to do earlier in my life, and they either fell through or I quit on them. And quitting sucks. And the quitting was for different reasons, not like every single time that I quit on an idea was for the same reason. It may have been because I wasn't as passionate as I thought I was about it when I started it. It may have been the time in my life just wasn't right. I didn't have as much time as I thought I would have. And so this year with this podcast, I started putting those things into perspective and realizing, no, I have time to do this. If I work on this or focus on this stuff or learn something new about podcasting once a day for an hour a day, that's going to add up quick. And that's 7 hours in a week, right? If I just spend an hour a day focusing on podcasting and what that looks like and how it looks in when the analytics and all of that, and just an hour a day, that's 7 hours in a week, right? Or 28 hours in a month. That's a lot of time if you think about it. And I'm just saying an hour at a minimum. Some nights I might spend 3 hours reading something or studying something. Some nights it might be that 1 hour. But do something, whatever you're passionate about, whatever you love. You're not too old at all. I've talked to people this week who are going back to school. They've got their degree, their bachelor's, and now they're going back for their master's, and that's somebody who is going to get an MBA in business, and she is going back to school, and it's never too late. My wife went back to school in her late 20s for nursing to get her RN, or early 30s. She might have been 30 or 31. I'm trying to remember. But she had her degree in communications and really wanted to be a nurse. And so she said, you know what, I'm going back to school. Did it, crushed it, and now she is a NICU nurse. And, it's never too late. You have time. So find that thing you're passionate about, that thing you love to do, and do it. Don't have regrets when you're 90. Don't have regrets when you're 50 or 45 for that matter. Just do that thing that you love. Because the other thing too is whatever it is, there's going to be other people out there that enjoy that. Because I was talking to someone and they said something like, oh, I want to start a podcast, but no one's going to really care that I have this to talk about. And I told him, I was like, there are people. I guarantee you there are at least 100 people who care about that. I don't, but I know there are 100 people that do. Whatever it might be, whether it's knitting or gardening or solar power. Like, there is something out there. If you're passionate about it, people will find it and they will listen to you, and you can start a community, and who knows where it will go from there. But figure out your passion and just do it. Because it doesn't matter. You're going to be your own worst critic. Who cares what other people think? But if it's something you love and something you would do without getting paid to do, then do it, because you might regret it later on. And so, with all that said, again, it's never too late. You're never too old to learn something new, to pursue a passion, whatever it might be. For instance, my dad, he retired at, I think he was 64, 63, I don't know, 65, somewhere in there. Retired and has spent the last however many years spending hours a day learning the stock market. And my dad, and he got me into it, and he has taught me so much. But that's one of those things. The stock market, there are so many people who are passionate about learning and talking about the stock market. And if he wanted to, he could write a book or a blog, start a blog or a website or a podcast or even a YouTube channel talking about stocks. He probably doesn't agree, but I do, because when we get on the phone and talk about stocks, we can do it for an hour at a time, or we could do it for 10 minutes at a time. But he's very wise, and that's what he enjoys and loves to do, and that's what he's doing. And so figure out what it is that you love and do it, because you're not too old and you don't want to end up regretting not going after that thing. So there you have it, episode 61 of Release Rotation. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you guys later.